Tolsimir, Midnight's Light. It's a 3/2 for 5. Lifelink. Oh, but it creates a 5/5. Alright, that's amazing. What do we got here? Masker Girl. Gnome Killer, 4-drop, 4/4 Menace. Creatures you control have Wither. Oh, that's so brutal. I don't see much else that I would use. I don't want other people to use this against me. So I'm going to pull that card and I'm just not going to use it. End the thinking count. So. I'll be doing today a draft. Probably going to do Premier because last one I did was traditional and sometimes can get a lot more matches out of Premier. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This one's pretty cool. X damage to any target. That's a big important note to make there. Put up to X land cards from your hand or graveyard into the battlefield tap. So if you are doing a lot of surveil, where you're pitching things to the graveyard off the top of the library, that could be helpful. The direct damage is good. I'm also going to be looking for more of a disguise kind of thing. So if we do the Gruul idea here, maybe we make it into a Naya. Those are all things that we can do there, but it's not a bad rare. I think I should go with that one. Comparatively, Out Cold's pretty nice, but it is a 4-drop and there's a lot that goes on early. Nervous Gardener, also pretty good. So we'll hope to see Nervous Gardener on the way back around. But we're going to start with the World Soul Rage. Treacherous Greed, 3-drop. Additional costs. Sack a creature that dealt damage this turn, draw 3 cards. Each opponent loses 3 life. That's pretty neat, but that's going to be hard to do. Especially with what we have. Whenever an opponent sacrifices an artifact, so if they're sacrificing those clues that they have, 2 damage. This one is pretty good. Alright, Culvert Ambusher. ETB, target creature blocks if able. I mean, that's kind of neat. Forcing some blocks. ETB, 2-drop, 1/3 with reach. Collect evidence 6. Enters battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter for collect evidence 6. That's pretty steep. I'm gonna grab the shock just to have some burn. Shock's pretty good. By turn 3, somebody could play a detective. It's a 2/2 ward 2, so you can get rid of that with the 1 shock and the 2 extra mana. It's not crazy though. Ooh, Rubble Belt Maverick. This is really good with World Soul Rage because I'm going to surveil, hopefully throw some lands in, get those back later. So I'm going to grab that. Bust and Bother, pretty cool. The Chase is on, really good. First Strike and Investigate token. They went this way. This is search for a basic land, put on the battlefield tapped, shuffle, investigate, cool. Pompous Gadabout, 3-drop 4/2, has hexproof as long as it's my turn and can't be blocked by creatures that don't have a name. Okay, so it can't be blocked by those the cloaked cards. The what do you call it? Disguised creatures. Alright, Torch the Witness. Does twice X damage to target creature if excess damage is dealt to that creature. This way investigate. I'm gonna grab Rift Burst Hellion. I want to make sure I get some late game kind of push. And that's a really strong one. Tunnel Tipster is great. Taps for mana, so we got a little bit of mana ramp. And it also, anytime you play a face down card, it's going to get a little bit bigger. So it does have some synergy with the disguise cards. Let's grab that. And what is this? Reckless Detective, 2-drop, 0/3. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. If you do draw a card and it gets +2, alright, so that could also help with World Soul Rage. So we'll grab Tunnel Tipster because mana ramp's more important. But we'll hope to see some more of that come back around. 2-drop. Gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. Disguise, cool. When it's turn face up, search your library for up to 2 forest cards, reveal them. Put one of them into the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand. Alright. So that could be useful. With World Soul, we've got a little higher CMC, so that helps us ramp to get some of the bigger bigger cards. And sack artifact, enchantment, sack creature with flying. Meh. I'm gonna grab that one for now. This one is weird. I really don't like Gearbane Orangutan. 3-drop 2/2 reach. You gotta sack artifacts for it to really do anything. Prime Novelist is not bad, but again, sack artifact. I think it's better than the than the 2/2 here. Could be a 4/4, but this gets better over time, not just once. What do we got? Rubble Belt Braggarts. 5-drop 5/5. Whenever this attacks, if it's not suspected, you may suspect it. Okay. I mean, it's better than the other cards in that list that I could use. Chase is on, caught red-handed. Can't be countered, gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap it. Gains haste, suspected. I mean, that actually, gain control of target creature is very annoying and can be very good in draft, especially if somebody is playing around one card and you happen to take that. Could be a really good swing, so we'll see. Sanitation Automation. 2-drop 2/1, ETB Surveil 1. We do like Surveil. We'll do that. +1/+1 each attacking. Right now, we're just doing rule, so we'll keep it like this. Innocent Bystander, whenever it's blocked, 3 or more, investigate. Cool. And the thinking count. So. Alright, next, we got 2 rares here. Search the library for a creature or a land card, reveal it, put it on the battlefield. Tapped if it's a land, otherwise put it in your hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. Deal damage. Okay, so kind of like a fight, but not really. Exile target artifact or enchantment. Nice, I like it. And then Tolsimir, Midnight's Light. It's a 3/2 for 5. Lifelink. Oh, but it creates a 5/5. Alright, that's amazing. I love that one. And we'll hope to see Nervous Gardener come back around. We've seen these before. Ooh, Double Strike Trample. Okay. So we will hope to see either the Cyclops or the Nervous Gardener on the way back around. Archdruid's Charm's a little spicy. CMC. But this is good. Now we can start looking at trying to make this a 3-color, because we could justify that. Exile target attacking creature. Well, that's definitely good to have for removal. That is pretty good. Alright. Grab that for sure. Sanctuary Wall might be something we could do now. 4/3 Flying Phantom. Cool. Another Tunnel Tipster. That mana ramp could be very helpful. When Luxodon, Eavesdropper enters battlefield, investigate. Draw your second card. I don't have too much extra draw going on. Bite down on crime. May collect evidence 6, 2 less if evidence. Okay. Deals damage to creature. Okay. I'm gonna go with Sanctuary Wall. Actually, no. Tunnel Tipster. Last second switch up there. Went with Tunnel Tipster because mana ramp's probably actually going to be more important. Tap an untapped creature control, add 1 mana of any color. Sack and draw a card, cool. Escape Tunnel can be really good because you can keep fetching and bringing the land back and fetching it for... I mean, again, that's just playing off World Soul, but it's still not bad. Collect evidence 3, add 1 mana of any color. Put an unlock counter on it, sacrifice. Surveil 3, draw, only if it has 5 or more counters on it. Could be good, but not as good as the land. Analyze the pollen, collect evidence 8, search for a basic land card if evidence was collected and said. Search your library for a creature or a land card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Not crazy. Tap, add 1 colorless. When it's turned face up, add 2 mana of any one color. That actually could be helpful. It's mana fixing. It's a land that could also be disguised, which is kind of neat. Up in the creature count. Another Tunnel Tipster. Okay, sweet. So by getting all of that early, I know that I can build those up if I get more detective, like, disguise cards. So, that might be good. Makeshift binding is an O-ring, which might not be bad to have. I've got 2 tunnel tipsters, we'll be fine with that. Due diligence. Enters the battlefield. Enchant creature gets +2/+2, gains vigilance. Okay. I'm gonna go with the 5/4, yeah. That's actually nice. Did I get the knife? Did not get the knife in time. Knife's not bad, gives first strike, and you can sack it to draw a card, which is pretty cool. We'll go with Escape Tunnel. Mana fixing. Airtight Alibi. Flash. ETB. Untapped target creature against Hexproof. Ooh, big fan of Hexproof. Grab that. And this last pack, we're going to have to grab creatures. We are low. Let's just start grabbing them now. Yep, 4 creatures. Wrench has tapped out target creature. See Felonious Rage, sure, and Cerebral Confiscation. Alright, so what do we got here? Masker Girl. Gnome Killer, 4-drop, 4/4 Menace. Creatures you control have Wither. Oh, that's so brutal. It's like, in fact, they deal damage in forms of -1/-1 counters. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, if its toughness is less than 1, draw a card. Okay. As far as what else is good in this pack, I don't think there's much other than Massacre Girl. So, in the sense that I don't see much else that I would use, I don't want other people to use this against me. So I'm going to pull that card and I'm just not going to use it. I mean, unless I find some way to splash in black here at the very end. Buried in the Garden. Exile target non-land permanent you don't control until it leaves. So, like another O-ring. Okay. Oh, I really need creatures, though. Ah. I gotta think about it. It's so good. Alright, but after this one, I gotta get creatures. Alright, Human Detective. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, investigate. Sure, that seems strong. It's a late game kind of card, and I need some heavier hitters. Yep, that's what I'm grabbing. Frantic Scapegoat, sure. Earlier game, need that too. Dogwalker. Dogwalker is meh. I've used it before. It's not amazing. Could use a 4-drop though. It's got Disguise. I like that. When it dies, create a 2/2 white and blue. Okay. I'm gonna go with the Scapegoat for now. Enters the battlefield, you mean sacrifice an artifact. When you do, Cornered Crook deals 3 damage to any target. Okay, we will have artifacts, so that's doable for sure. All right, what else do we got going on? 16 creatures, so we're getting there. But definitely want to see what else we got. Nothing specific mana that's too tough to get until turn 4. Buried in the Garden, that's not bad. Perimeter Enforcer, Flying Lifelink, 2-drop to 1/1. ETB under your control. Whenever a detective you control is turned face up, it gets +1/+1. So it's only going to get that until end of turn, but it's something. I'll grab it just because it's got that lifelink. Sometimes that makes a difference. Okay, Meddling Youth. It's got haste. That's cool. The Red Herring is also not bad. I've got one of those 5-drops already. Let's go with the lower CMC just to kind of help that out a little bit. Vengeful Tracker. Whenever an opponent sacrifices an artifact, 2 damage to them. Could be good, could be a really good sideboard card, but we don't sideboard in Premier, so I may just have to main it. Average is not that high, so I like that. Nothing here that I'm going to use. Eliminate the impossible. Sure, that looks cool. This is something I could use. Something I could use. And the last 2 cards. Sweet. Flying 4/3. A little bit late game, but hey, it's something. Demand answers. Why not? Not bad. Turned into a Naya deck once we got that 5-drop. I think it was a 3/3 that creates a 5/5. It's a 3/2 that creates a 5/5 when it enters the battlefield. And the 5/5 has trample. Whenever a wolf you control attacks, if Tolsimir attacked, target creature blocks that wolf this combat if able. So you can also force a block on the 5/5, which is really neat. Kind of control the board state. Alright, let's take a closer look real quick. We've got 20 creatures, 13 non-creatures. What I like to do is thin that out to about 17 creatures, and then 6 non-creatures, and then that'll leave me with 17 lands. I recently evaluated the probabilities of getting lands in your opening hand and kind of tracking that so on. It looks like 17 might be just a hair. It's normal, it's what a lot of people do, but 16 is going to be your 40% mark, roughly, and that could make a really big difference. A lot of times when you build a deck, you're going to have 24 lands in it when you start. That's what this MTGA even prompts you with. So 24 lands, 40% for a 60 card deck, that it makes a difference. So, and that one card could be another non-creature or I mean, shoot, could be another creature. So I'll take a look at it, see, and then curate the list from what I have. Try to fit in those non-creatures that complement that list. So let's do it. Alright, so we have 19 creatures right here. That's not bad. Average CMC with just the creatures is 3.5. Got some higher end ones, so let's take a quick look at those 5-drops and 6-drops or above. Alright, starting here. 5-drop, 5/4, ETB, 3 damage to any target. I like it because it's not a 5/5 for 5, but it does 3 damage, so it adds a little bit of removal into the deck. So I'm going to keep those 2 for sure. This one I may take out. This is a 5-drop, 5/5. Whenever it attacks, if it's not suspected, you may suspect it. So it's basically going to give itself menace. Could be good, could be bad. There are some cards in the set that say, like there's one card, Agros, and he says, it's a 4-drop, Boros, and 2 others. ETB, you can suspect a creature. If it's already suspected, you can exile it. So very small example there, but that could be a problem. I don't know off the top of my head if there's any other cards that are doing that, or something to the effect that if they already have suspect that you can do something aside from Frantic Scapegoat. This says if this is suspected, you may suspect 1 other creatures. If you do, you're basically moving the suspect counter from Frantic over. So I may take that out. Meddling use 4/5 haste. I love it. Whenever you attack with 3 or more, investigate, you can constantly get some more draw. Tolsimir, 3/2 lifelink, cool, definitely keeping it, gives that 5/5. Defenstrated Phantom, 6-drop, 4/3 flyer, disguise for 5, so I'm going to play it for 3, it's a 2/2 ward 2, turn 5, flip it over as a 4/3, that's pretty good flip right there. And then Riftburst Hellion is a 7-drop, disguise 6. So I've got 3, 6, so my 6 drops and plus could also be played as 3 drops. So this curve is not entirely accurate. I basically would have 5 on the 3. And so that's going to be 14 to 5. It's going to be a lot closer to 3 than you think. So that's not bad. I like 3 as an average CMC because I want to make sure that I'm playing multiple things a turn, not just one thing a turn and easily predicted from my opponent. If we were to quickly look at the mana here, 5, 5, and 4, Forest is the least likely. I do have some instant and sorceries that I could use, but this is mainly a Boros Splash Forest. And then we got utility lands, also Disguise. I could use this land as a creature if I wanted to. When it's turned face up, add 2 mana of any one color. Great, that helps the mana fixing. Until end of turn. Ooh, and you don't lose that mana. I didn't read that part. As steps and phases end. Love it. Sweet. Escape Tunnel, sack it, search for a basic land, put it on the battlefield. Helps with mana fixing. It's great. I could tap, sack it, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. I don't know how many of those I have. There's a couple. Alright, so 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5. That depends on the forests. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it definitely could be used for that in a pinch if I need to get that last little bit of damage. So looking at that, I might take this one out. Flourishing Bloomkin. The 2-drop. It gets +1/+1 for each forest you control. If, however, you lose those forests, though, that could be a problem. You can disguise it when it's turned face up. Search for 2 forest cards, reveal them. 1 in the battlefield. So I mean, it's okay. If it was a mono green deck, probably a lot better. But I don't need it. Okay. Innocent Bystanders, okay. It's not crazy. And I think I have the most 2-drops. I do. So I could take that out. Does help with Investigate, but Investigate seems to be, I want to say, if you're playing Izzet in this set, Izzet gets a lot of value out of artifacts, sacking artifacts, creating those Thopters, sacking, making those get bigger with +1/+1 counters and drawing extra. So it's good, but it's not great with this strategy. Alright, so then if I were to just throw in 6, I already want to put in Makeshift Binding. That's your basic kind of O-ring deal there. Buried in the Garden, it's like another kind of O-ring. Not really. Enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent you don't control until Buried in the Garden leaves. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds additional mana of any color. So it helps with mana fixing or its removal. So I like that. So that's 1. World Soul Rage, we know damage. Fetching lands, we're surveilling, so that's good. 2. 3. And we got 3 more. So Airtight Alibi seems good. Untap target creature, gains hexproof. If it's suspected, it's no longer suspected. It gets +2/+2 and can't become suspected. So I like the hexproof. It's also instant speed. Probably going to keep that. Combat tricks are important. Alright, so let's throw that one in there. And we got 2 more. 2 more. Caught red-handed, talked about that. That one is going to be with the can't be countered, but gain control of a target creature and opponent controls. It's huge. It can really swing a board state. Villainous Rage looks okay. +2/+0. If it dies, create a 2/2, but 2/2 could easily be. I mean, it's not great. I mean, you're gonna have the disguised creatures 2/2 ward 2. You could chop with those. They're likely to be on the board. So I mean, exile target attacking creature with not on my watch. Great card. And we get 1 more, probably Shock. Honestly, just for a little bit of burn. See what our average is. 3.3 went down a little bit more, so we're really close to that 3 average. A little bit of a curve and a late game push. all of the 6 drops could be played on turn 3, so this will go up a little bit more. And then our 5 drops will be our late game kind of hold the board. Tolsimir, Meddling Youths, Cornered Crook, and Braggart. Alright, let's see. Is there anything I would put in instead of this 5 drop 5/5? What do I have here? I like Demand Answers. I could do that. 2 drop 2/1 Surveil 1. Kind of like it. Let's see. Do we have any detectives? We got 4. It's not a crazy amount. I think I'll leave it for now. We'll see how it does, and then if I want to switch it up, I can switch it up before the next match. I know we can't sideboard in Premiere. The lands look okay. I kind of want to get 1 more forest, but it doesn't matter because I've got the escape tunnels. So it's basically like I have 7 plains, 7 mountains, and 6 forests as far as opportunity to draw them. So I'm okay. That looks fine. No specific CMC until turn 4, turn 5. And that's pretty much it. So I think this will do okay. Let's check it out. And that's going to do it for the build. I do appreciate you joining me as always. Watch these games, get those gains, and walk those planes. Until next time, deckheads, keep it easy.